Hello friends, in this lesson we're going to study on a part of chapter 8, which is ecology. So as we remember from the chapter 1 branch of biology, ecology is a branch of science which study on relation between living things, each other, and also with their environment. Ecology. So ecology, we said living things with their environment. So we study first from non-living environment, or the place where living things live on, from to the earth. Let's learn something about how the earth is created. So the origin of earth. Earth is the only planet that can support life for human, animals, and plants. We know there are billion stars and planets in sky, but from them, the unique planet which can support life for human, animals, and plants is the Earth. So the Earth is a member of solar system. We know solar system is a number of planets which are turned around the sun, but one of them is our living Earth, and also it gets energy from sun. How we studied in previous chapter, sun is the main source of energy for all living things on Earth. So the Earth has a historical introduction. It began to be formed about 4.6 billion years ago and became a planet with ocean atmosphere about 3.8 to 4.1 billion years ago. So as we see from the picture, about 4.6 billion years ago, it was like a ball of fire and smoke. But then it's cooled and changed, transformed. It made ready for what? For living things to live on in about 1 billion years. So the Earth layers, let's know about structure of Earth. Now we know position is one member of solar system. It is the unique planet which can support of life. And now we study on why our Earth is the unique to support life. So we gain some information about its structure. The Earth layers. The Earth is made up of 4 layers. These 4 layers are the inner core, center of Earth, the outer core, the mantle, and the crust. Let's learn some information about these layers of Earth one by one. So the first one is the crust. The Earth crust is like the skin of an apple. It's very thin compared to the 3 layers. So in an apple, when we compare its skin to the part flesh which we eat, it is so much thin. So also the Earth crust is too much thin according to other 3 layers. The crust thickness is about 5 kilometers to 7 kilometers. We need these numbers only to compare the thickness of layers with one another. The second layer, mantle, as we can see, which in red color, it is the second layer we just located under the Earth crust. The mantle is the layer below the crust. The mantle is the large layer of the Earth. As we know, the mantle means something which cover another part. So the mantle covers the core of the Earth. The mantle is the largest layer of Earth, which one the deepest, the thickest layer. So the mantle is deep as about 3,000 kilometers. How we remember, we said the crust about 5 to 70 kilometers, but the mantle about 3,000 kilometers. Tectonic plates, they are combination of crust and mantle. They are big, so much big pieces of rocks. These plates are moving very slowly. So much slowly we cannot feel it. But sometimes when we feel movement of this tectonic plates, we call it earthquakes. Earthquakes, when we feel the earth is moved, they are the movement of these tectonic plates which located in the deep of mantle layer. The core, now the outer core of Earth, as we see in yellow color, the outer core. The core of the Earth is like a ball of very hot metals. But these very hot metals, they are liquid. So they are melted metals, which are a mix of what? Iron and nickel. So the outer core is made up of iron and nickel, as we said, and it can be very hot, about 4,400 to 5,000 degrees Celsius. If we compare it with water which is boiled at 100 degrees Celsius, we cannot touch it. Even the 4,000 or 5,000 degrees Celsius is too much for human to resist. Inner core, the innermost layer of Earth, like a nucleus in cell. The inner core of Earth is the hottest part of Earth, over 5,000 degrees Celsius. How we said the outer core reach to 5,000, but inner core is 5,000 and more degrees Celsius in temperature. It is hot as what? As the surface of sun, which is a ball of fire. Now, let's make a review with some question about what we get or what we learned about the Earth. Question 1. What are the 4 layers of Earth? So these 4 layers of Earth, we can order them from inner to out or out to inner. Crust, mantle, outer core, and inner core, which are the 4 layers of Earth. Inner core, outer core, mantle, and crust. Question 2. The Earth crust is very hot or very thick or very thin or very liquid. Which one? What can be the Earth crust? It's thick, like what? From 5 to 7 kilometers, and it's thin according to other layers of Earth. Question 3. The mantle is the largest layer of Earth. Is it true or no? The largest, we can say it's the thickest layer, which is about 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers. Yes, it's true. Question 4. Is the outer core a liquid or a solid? Crust, mantle, then outer core. Is it liquid or solid? Yes, it's liquid, which is a mix of iron and nickel, and reach about from 4,400 to 5,000 degrees Celsius, which is a very enough temperature to melt the metals. Origin of life. As you remember, we said Earth is the unique planet in solar system which can support life for living organisms, human, animals, or plants. So we get some information how first time life started on Earth. The first living organisms on Earth are the protists. They live in oceans. This life started in water. They can produce their own food by photosynthesis. We may remember photosynthesis from previous chapters, which plants make their own food by using sunlight, water, and CO2. But protists, they are mainly unicellular organisms, means they're made up of just only one cell. But some of them contain chlorophyll, like plants. They are in green color, and they produce their own food by photosynthesis, like plants. Afterwards, new forms of life created, again producers, which are plants. And followed by animals, herbivores, then bigger animals, carnivores, which eat meat or other animals, dinosaurs, then big birds, which are lived and now became extinct today. Extinct when a population, a group of similar organisms totally disappear from Earth. We cannot see them anymore, but we just gain information about them from their remaining parts, bones, or different parts of body. We call them extinct. So we use extinct about living things which not existed on Earth anymore, like dinosaurs. As we said, the extinct organisms disappear, but how we know about them? So a fossil is the preserved remains of living organisms, plant or animal or insect. Studying fossils helps scientists to learn about the past history of life on Earth and how we said the first living things which are created on Earth are protists. Then what? Plants. Then animals and dinosaurs and big birds. We get all of this information about the remain part of body for these living things, which we call it fossils. Biosphere. We know bio means life, sphere, something which is spherical, ball-shaped sphere. So a ball-shaped structure which supports life, we call it biosphere. And our biosphere is our Earth. So any part of Earth and atmosphere in which living organisms are present or can live, it can be biosphere. Like a forest or water deep of ocean or a farm. All of them can be biosphere because all of them support life of different organisms. The height of the biosphere in atmosphere reach about 10,000 meters. Means birds, living things, can fly in atmosphere and about height of 10,000 meters. More than this, they cannot live. Why? Because temperature decrease, oxygen level decrease, so it is not available for organisms. And also biosphere reach about 5,000 meters in deep of ocean, where some forms of life observed. We dive in water. We go to the deep as 5 kilometers, but also we can see some organisms which are living safely there. Why? Because also it's part of biosphere. Biosphere contains air, water, soil, and rocks, because there are living things which can be found in air, in water, in soil, or on rocks. So there is atmosphere air, hydrosphere, water, lithosphere, soil, and rocks. All of them contain life, support life, so they're part of biosphere. Let's make a review what we gained about the biosphere. What are the first organisms created on Earth? Yes, protists are mainly unicellular organisms, but from this unicellular organism which have green color, the first organisms which are created on Earth. So life began with protists on Earth. How did protists produce their own food? Sun, the main source of energy. But this energy can be transferred to the organisms by green-colored organisms which contain chlorophyll by a process which called as photosynthesis. So the protists produce their own food by photosynthesis. Another question, what is extinct? And give an example for this. The extinct organisms that totally disappear, and we know them from what? From their fossils. Example, dinosaurs are organisms which we know them only from their fossils or from some movies. Introduction to ecology. We will continue in our next video.